Happy New Year, everyone! Okay, so now this will serve as an instructional video for the Unit 4 assessment task. So stay tuned. We have activity number 1, Venn diagram. I bet that you already know what Venn diagram is. I know that you usually have this Venn diagram with only two circles. But here, we will not only comparing two things, but we will be comparing three things. We have the formal, non-formal, and informal education. So here's the catch. So let me draw to you the Venn diagram. So our Venn diagram is we have three. Okay, let me change the color. So we have three. So for example, here is the formal, the informal, and the non-formal. Okay. So in this particular section, you will write what makes the formal education different from the non-formal and informal education. So with this one and this one. Also, aside from that one, in this particular area, you need to also write what makes or what is the similarity between formal and informal education. So with this area, and in this center, or at the center, you will what? Write the similarities of the three. The formal, informal, and non-formal. Also, remember to what? To write in complete sentence. Again, write in complete sentence. Okay, I will not be accepting phrases or in phrasal form answers, so avoid that one. Remember, this is a group activity, so I believe that the quality of your output. Next, let's have the interview. So here in the interview, you will look for an ALS teacher, so an alternative learning teacher, system teacher. So ask him or her the following questions. We have the how was your experience as an ALS teacher? What are the problems you have encountered as an ALS teacher? How did you handle such problems? Given a chance, would you still be an ALS teacher or be a regular classroom teacher? Or what is your message to the aspiring teacher in ALS or alternative learning system? So after you ask those questions, you need to of course jot down their responses. So as you could see in the interview guide table, we have the questions, the also the responses, and of course my implications. So in my implications, you will write your realizations. So this should be a group consensus. You need to brainstorm with your group. For example, they answered that one of their experiences as an ALS teacher is they faced difficulties with the location of the center. So what do you think your realization? So your realization could be, so as for me, my realization could be, it is difficult for the teacher to teach because we believe that a conducive environment will really help the learners to learn. So, you need to of course elaborate more. Ganun yun. And also, you need to ask for the ALS teacher's profile like name, place of the ALS center, and of course number of years that they are teaching as an ALS teacher. You may ask also their picture. Okay, and also aside from that one is for me to be able to check if you really did an interview. So of course you need to support it with documentation like screenshots or even pictures. So what are the ways for you to interview? You could make use of video call. You could also make use of messenger chat room, or you could do a face-to-face interview. Always remember that you could only do a face-to-face interview if they are living near your proximity, or and aside from that one, you need to abide the stipulated health protocols by IATF, such as wearing of face mask, face shield, and of course use of disinfectants. But I am discouraging you to do that one if the ALS teacher is not familiar with you or not living with your area. So, yun. Also, you may, okay, you may transcribe their responses. If they responded in Bisaya, you may translate it in English for your output. And also, you may do also audio recording. Okay. So next, we have activity 3, my own activity. So based from the methods and I mentioned above, write at least one activity and enumerate how it will be done. So I stipulated above the different methods, strategies, techniques for you to be able to use. I know that some of it you're already familiar with some of those strategies. But here in this particular activity, you need to create your own. So you are not allowed to copy from the internet. So you need to create your own. So for example, I will create my own activity. I will name it. I will name it Pop It, Mark It. So that particular activity is the students will pop the balloon, and after they pop the balloon, they will mark it. Okay, so that could be best activity used for motivating the students, particularly when you start your lesson. So ganun yun, you need to stipulate how it will be done. So the procedure, step 1, 2, okay, depends on you how many steps you have. And you may also include pictures for us to be able to easily understand how to do your activity. Okay, so those are the things that you need to remember in answering the assessment task of the unit 4. If you have questions, you may raise it in our GC, but if it is related or if it is already answered here in this video, I won't entertain it anymore. So please watch this instructional video. Okay, so once again, happy new year.